Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Jamie Lee Sayers, professional model and upcoming artist. I recently released 2 original songs through River Road Records with Gina Lee. You can find the links in my description below. I am also the founder of the Becoming Empowered campaign, and today is our official launch. The aim of my campaign is to uplift and inspire those that surround me and to encourage not only personal development, but also development within their communities. I will be the host of weekly chatterbox sessions where we will discuss real life situations and how to overcome it. Aside from my YouTube platform, you can follow my Inspirational Corner on Instagram for weekly motivation and updates on future charity drives and initiatives. Without further ado, let's move in to this week's series. The topic of the week is beauty standards. I feel that too often we are focused on what society has to say about how we should look and how we should dress, to the point where our self-image becomes distorted. I spoke to a few of my friends on how this negatively impacted their self-image and how they overcame it. Let's hear what they had to say.
So I was bullied quite a bit when I was in primary school. And that started getting me to think, well, if these people are treating me so bad, it must be because I'm ugly, and it must be because I'm not cool enough, and I'm definitely not good enough. And so this really corrupted my self image. And when I went to high school, I started to change myself. I started to go against my character, and I changed myself to act like the people around me so that I could be accepted by the cool kids. I used lots of different things like makeup. I tried to lose weight. I started hanging out with the completely wrong people, and I did all the wrong things. And in the end of the day, I was left I was left with myself. And as a Christian, I often heard things like, you are unique, you are beautiful, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are made in God's image. And that was head knowledge, but I needed it to be knowledge in my heart, because when it's in your head, it's just something you're hearing over and over again. But when it's in your heart, that's when you truly understand that I am beautifully made because I was made by God. And any creation by God is beautiful and perfect. And so it's not something that I can just wake up in the morning and say, oh, great, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, I'm beautiful, I'm made in God's image. So everything's great, everything's hunky dory. But it's not like that. It's something that I haven't conquered yet. So every morning when I wake up and I see myself in the mirror, I need to decide for myself. I am beautiful. I am unique. And I am special. And I will no longer compare myself to the people around me.
So, like most people, I was bullied for the way I looked. I was considered to be a bit too tall for my age, and somehow I was always the skinniest person. I never liked the way I looked. I was taller than most boys, so I admired girls with fuller figures because I thought that was more feminine, and I felt that I wasn't good enough because I seemed to fit in with the boys more than I did with the girls. And it doesn't help being teased by everyone on a daily basis, especially in school. But how I overcame this was joining a modeling agency. And you'd think that's funny because this is where you'd be targeted the most for the way you look. But luckily for me, I was surrounded by people who were like me and they were good influences. And all of a sudden, my insecurities took a complete 180, and it was my highlight. It was what I loved about myself. And I loved myself a bit more and I enjoyed it. But during this time, your body goes through changes. and I noticed that I wasn't growing as tall as I used to anymore, and I was barely the skinniest person. So, what I thought was my identity was taken away from me, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And my insecurities took a shift from hiding from who I was and how I looked to wanting to be that. I needed to be the skinniest person, and I didn't feel good when I wasn't the tallest person around. So I was back at square one going through the same thing all over again. And it took some time before I realized that that was not what defined me as a person, and it was my character that was more important. The only thing that really makes you stand out is how you treat other people, and your idea of beauty might be so influenced by media that we forget that beauty isn't necessarily something that you look at, but it's something that makes you feel, and how we make other people feel is more important than what they see about yourself. And it I still struggle with it today, to be honest. But surrounding yourself with the right people, and it might be challenging to find these people, but when you do, you will realize that your beauty comes from the inside. When you get compliments on your personality and your kindness, that is so much more better than getting a compliment on the way you look. And this is how beauty standards change as time goes on. And I really hope that more people can realize that beauty isn't an appearance, but beauty is something that shines from people on the inside.
This is me. This is also me. Hi, I'm Nicole Cherry. So, I was subjected to immense bullying when I was in school, and it got so bad that I had to pull out of school and do homeschooling. Emotionally, I was very broken. I had very little self-image and self-worth. With the encouragement of my family, I was able to identify my passions and my dreams, despite the negativity I was so used to, but I've been very successful with it. The world's standard of beauty is very flawed. So what I've learned from my journey is that to be beautiful means to be yourself. You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to accept you. So, by putting on the makeup and the branded clothing, we are chasing after acceptance from others for our own self-worth. But there's the flaw. Your self-value should not come from someone else. It needs to come from within you. Don't get me wrong, I love to put makeup on and get dressed up because my passions and dreams happen to be modeling, singing, dancing, and acting. But I've realized that my self-value is based on how I treat others. By positively empowering, inspiring, and lifting others up. My self-value can't be purchased, because I've realized that my self-value is by consistently valuing others.
Wow, I'm sure that we can all relate to what those beautiful ladies had to say. I know that I certainly can. As a model, a lot has been expected from me with regard to beauty standards over these past 12 years. And that certainly does put a lot of pressure on a person. But I'm so grateful that I realized from a young age that my true identity lies in Christ. And that is part of the reason why I'm so confident within my own skin. We are more than what other people say about us. We are more than the amount of likes on Instagram, and we are certainly more beautiful than our reflection in the mirror. My desire is to see a generation of women rising up that realize that true beauty stems from within, and that are willing to turn the pain that they experienced into power. I hope that this video inspired you in some way or another. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.